just with his performance previously. But I am just excited to see what he has in store here. I'm not exactly sure what the side selections are just yet, but we'll be kicking off Nuke very, very shortly here.
Yeah, looking forward to hopping into this last map of the day, guys. Only one more to close us out here for the night. If you stuck it all the way through, we do appreciate you, as you are a
Absolutely.
true fan of North American Counter-Strike. An absolute trooper. As we'll see who's going to be closing this out. One more map to determine who's going to be our first team in the finals. The IEM Sydney in a closed qualifier here, as they do take some fights towards that outer yard. Wreck unable to dispatch with the USP just yet, but finally does find his ground.
Great 5v4 to kick things off, and there's Rek again onto Wiz. They make their way down to lower bomb site, but information in terms of footsteps garnered, as well as that man advantage. Look at 6C here, trying to work his way into the upper bomb site, and he just domes Malbs off of the top of Hut. That is not how that gunfight's supposed to go. And now, I mean, he's causing so many rotations onto that upper bomb site. Whatever information they were able to get on that lower site is completely nullified, but finally he goes down.
Ooh.
And Infinite has actually found a kill on the Mank, so a bomb plant available for Forsaken, you'd like to think. But they try to evacuate, but Wolfy struggling to capitalize on that magazine, but 35 seconds, we have a whirlwind of a pistol to start things off here.
Yeah, I think they might have overthought this one just a little bit. At least they do have a little split in towards this A bomb site, but that squeaky door being closed is very impactful. Stan, he needs to actually dive in or toss the bomb at the very least into the site here. Infinite taking contact, he gets blasted. And there's a dive in. At the very least, Stan could actually punch in the digits. Swisher gonna chase things down. Numbers punched in. Now Stan, can he close out the clutch here? He's got the Glock in hand. This starts the clock. This starts the pressure here. They're both going to swing on the right side of Silo. Another isolated duel from Stan. He's in the 1v1. Swisher wrapping around here. Stan. Oh my god. Burning the midnight oil. Closes out a 1v3 clutch.
Oh, it got dicey. It got ugly. But Forsaken eventually right the ship. I don't know how Stanislaw gets the bomb down in time. And as soon as it goes down, that's when Swisher kind of gets a little scared there. He's like, okay, I mean, Stan's Glock is out at this point. It's going to get dicey. It definitely got very dicey indeed. What a wonderful clutch there from Stanislaw. Finding a way to isolate those 1v1 duels as well in such a tight situation. I mean, that's some veteran leadership right there, leading by example, as you say. And there's another opening pick to deal with this anti-force buy as well.
And this is absolutely sick start there. That's got to, you know, inspire the troops. I don't think this team needs any inspiration. I feel like they have a whole lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whenever they're down, they're always willing to fight on back. But just starting off the map on a note like that, right? I think it's going to even just further damp the mood here on M80. That clutch should have been in the bag. He didn't have armor to back things up there. That spam close on the mark, but no connections. Infinite being able to force back these pistols here. It's a nice wall bang. There's no question Infinite was dead to rights. It's just about finding a little bit of time buying measures for his ramp players to take space here. Perfect molly right there towards the double doors. JB8, perfect swing. Save is the best case scenario here for Malbs and Wolfy. That is for certain.
I mean, the power of the MAC-10 is pretty lackluster when all players have helmets, but it's better than nothing. Forsaken keeping things simple this time around, diving into that lower bomb site. Infinite doing well to hold on to that secret control, and JBA doing work into that lower control room as well. 4 men stay alive for Forsaken, and the juices continue to flow for that T side. The momentum firmly in their favor after closing out just such a close vertigo.
Want to see if they can continue this action here. There's only going to be a couple of saved bits of firepower here. Really not much else behind it to pick on up, but we'll see what they can do here. Swisher's got a deagle. Let's see if they got any sort of setup here. It's going to be interesting to note Forsaken getting in that, that T-side start, though, for them is less than ideal if they didn't get off to this nice start. They still have a little bit of a route to go to if they want to build up a comfortable half, but starting things off with that 3-0 start is exactly what you would like here in this third map. Good flashes.
Flashes. Oh, lovely. Gets them into that big garage without any smokes being deployed. Tag for Wolfy. And the snake of M80 is just sliding out through that locker room, trying to find some sort of damage, trying to get that MAC-10 activated. There's Wiz, and there's JVA as well. Trade's trying to come through, but JVA,
oh my god,
clean with that Galil. And it's just Wolfy, done good damage across the board. But that's about all she wrote. And as we keep getting later in the night, I'd like to see a lot more BM. Why not, man? I mean, people are mentally fragile at this point. Let's just rip into them.
yeah,
Screw it.
yeah, just toss it all right now in this third map, with both teams fighting with every last bit of their heart left that they've got. I mean, especially when you talk about Forsaken, this is their 6th map of the day. And I think the only dominant map that we've really seen today has been them on Nuke, interestingly enough. That has been where they were able to dominate. Kind of just shut down Complexity.
In the worst situation as well, right? I can't stress it enough, man. It doesn't work like that. Counter-Strike just does not work like that. You just don't touch the game for like 5 years and then come back, go positive in an ever-important close qualifier, and then just peace out.
I mean, I can almost guarantee he has not played a game of Counter-Strike in that long.
I mean, you can judge from his mechanics in that game that he had no, like, practice prior to this. Like, maybe one pug here or there, but other than that, I don't really think there was much.
No, 100%. Still, it went that well for them, which is incredible there. Coach buying enough time to deliver. Look at the damage that's already been done. And it's another tag there.
Oh!
Stanislaw sends it right backpacking. Again, that kill feed. Looking familiar. Stanislaw into Swisher. Nullifying him for another round here. The first gun round of all. Not where you'd like to be watching from the sidelines early. Swisher not going to have his say. And there's just not really any mobility just yet on the CT side. No one rotating down to the lower bomb site. No one moving a muscle here. Which is very worrisome for M80. As for Forsaken, they just kind of continue to encapsulate this lower side of things here. If they don't ever transition in to this lower bomb set, we're talking a 5v4 post plant situation that I would almost even consider M80 more likely to save in.
Yeah, I'm considering M80 is just already assumed that they've lost lower control and are just full gambling on this top site. They've pretty much, I mean, look at Wolfy. Wolfy is in CT spawn, and the rest of these players on the top site, like, I think they've already thrown in the towel, to be honest with you. And Forsaken, yet again, that 1v1 between Swisher and Stanislaw has been so interesting to see play out. Obviously, on Overpass, Swisher had Stanislaw's number, but at the end of it all, Stanislaw really had Swisher's number on Vertigo. And now to see the early efforts of Stanislaw coming out on top this time around, it's very interesting to see that he's actually the one in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fun, back and forth here. But like you said, the swing of Swisher's domineering performance here in that first map, and honestly, being able to dispatch of Stanislaw consistently has certainly turned a new leaf here in map 3 and even map 2 as well. Wreck, though, gonna claim a couple of nice exits at the very least. But again, you just take a consideration on some of the HP bars there. There's a lot of low members on the side of Forsaken that if you did see a little bit of that CT mobility, some sort of transition, maybe there was some more promise, but maybe after that last map, you could be a little bit scared to go for aggression, scared to transition that defense. You can start to play stagnant. And if that comes through, if that continues to be true here, Forsaken are putting themselves in a really, strong position here at the start of the third map.
I mean, that's what Complexity did on Ancient, right? They were going for these aggressive lane plays. Look at this, man. 60's just been flashed out into the A site. And he gets an early 4v4 for Forsaken to deal with. I love this. I love just sticking it to the CTs. Make them feel uncomfortable. Make them work for it. And now Manx is caught between a rock and a hard place. He has to dive down. Takes a boatload of damage. And Swisher is gone yet again. Infinite has his number. 4v3. Huge damage on the rest of these CTs. And Forsaken are in a fantastic position here.
Yeah, left shaking right now, but there's some silver linings here. Yeah, Wolfy's flank. I just don't know if it's going to activate in time. They've just evacuated lobby control here. And again, are gearing up for an A-side play. Wolfy's soon going to get that information. Or the B-side play, I should say. But as Wolfy gets that information, that's when you need to start to see the rotations down and towards that lower bomb site. But as you mentioned, it's too little, it's too late, and it might just be them calling in another save here.
I think you're exactly right here, Colt. Save most definitely on the cards. And perhaps it could get denied. Stan trying his best to take down Rek. But Rek holds on. And I'm hoping for M80's sake that they're not goaded into a false sense of security here, that they could go for this retake. This shuts things down as far as that double control is concerned. Rek picks up an AK and absconds, but that is one less rifle that M80 can carry on into the next. And Forsaken's clean streak continues. I mean, that's that unbridled aggression that I love to see from Forsaken. Force M80 into these just awkward scenarios where they have to stand and duel and they're only due for a single kill. You saw first Swisher there and Mulbs on that upper site, and then Manx down in ramp as well. All only tied to potentially just one kill without really anything else to offer up after.
There's just really rapid answers back there, especially when you start to talk about how you utilize some of these players. If you're able to just find 60 a kill out towards A, he goes 1 for 1, but he just disrupts the setup here of M80, and M80 aren't really playing the sort of style that would facilitate those 4v4s because they're just kind of posting up on angles. When they're in those sort of situations, it feels like, you've utilized him successfully on the set of Forsaken. And that sort of setup that's going to be established here is some dominance.
What?
There's no way. JB, that was all the way from lobby here. 60 gonna follow it up. I don't know if they can stop him right now, as 60 will knock Wolfy down as well. Rek and Manx are shaken as Forsaken are just blasting them out of the server.
Oh man, that is just cold from JBA, and then 60 diving through vents. Man. And Manx isn't spawn, man. He wants nothing to do with this. He says, Rek, look, man, you can do what you want. I'm saving. And maybe that kill attempts for him to move out of spawn now, but I mean, the damage is done. 60 and JBA have just torn M80 a new one.
They have just unleashed a new level right there. JBA, sure. Sometimes Counter-Strike just blesses you up right there. And that was like a triple dink.
Yeah.
Just 3 headshots off rip, and you're watching from the sidelines. But then 60, man, gets a kill, sneaking his way out towards Vince. He just does it again. He gets out a squeaky door somehow and gets in your face. Follows it up by just clotheslining the op of Wolfy there. He's like, what's going on here? And then just dead as soon as he turns the corner. 6-0. And the only dominant maps we've seen today are on Nuke. And that trend could continue.
I'm all for it. I'm all for this Forsaken hype train. This is just magical. It is now 12:53 a.m. where I'm located. And I'm sure for some people around in this server, it's 153. It's damn late. And to put on a performance like this is just so impressive.
These are peak FPL hours right now.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And this is peak 60. This
You're
is
right.
this
You're
is his
right.
perfect time right now. It's just another match for him. Another FPL to queue up here at a crispy 1:50 a.m. He sure does deliver in the late hours of the night, man. This is just incredible. Just a pure display of prowess coming through from his department. JBA not too far behind him here in this map, and again, it's making Stan's job easy, but he's come through with some brilliant calls to avoid the worst part of this defense here. Is that just straight wall bangs right there? That's a bit brutal. Infinite gonna catch some flack right there. Wolfy gonna start things off quite nicely. What they needed desperately was an opening pick, and they have found one.
But now Wolfy getting eager to search for even more outside control. Isn't rewarded with another frag. And instead, it's again, 60 trying to let loose into this upper bomb site. Can't find that opening that he was looking for, so instead they'll just wait for a little longer, have a second phase of utility, and then perhaps he can get let loose yet again.
And that's such a nasty off angle right there. Wreck doesn't realize what's hit him. And now the execution towards A going to continue here. Malb's trying to avoid the flashes. 6C unable to deal with the off angle, and this time they're able to coordinate their efforts with Wiz left into an impossible clutch. He gets his kill, he gets out of dodge, saving the AWP here. And M80 have arrived here on Nuke in the third map for a first round.
And it needed to be Wolfy, it needed to be Swisher. Finally, Swisher gets a single kill. I mean, it's been so long since Swisher has even been able to play the game. It feels like 20 seconds, 25 seconds into the round, he just gets blasted out of the server. And now, once he can finally lay down his foot on the server, it works out. And M80 get their first round, but they're going to need more of that. How fast can they cool down 60 before they can right this CT ship?
Nade stack here. Wreck. Oh, it's just a 1-for-1 though. But at least they're able to punish 60's aggression here early. And Swisher actually does pull it back here with a quick response onto JBA. So we are seeing some replies, some back and forth here. And again, like you mentioned, players needing to show up here. Starting to do so more and more often. Swisher finding some early impact in a round has to be a big relief for him.
And now, I mean, with this 3v5, you've got a little bit of outside control, Stan. Trying to make his way there. Swisher very loud about his rotation. Infinite should definitely have heard this. And perhaps Stan wants to call off the dogs into that lower bomb site, hearing that rotation. It's going to smoke off Mini, perhaps trying to maybe get into heaven? I'm not exactly sure because the time's ticking here. 35 seconds left. And Forsaken are now trying to scale through outside.
This is kind of essence here. Starting to clear more and more angles is Infinite, but Malb's standing on the back of the site. It's looking good to offer up some defense here, and does have Wolfy close by beside him here. It's all a game of timing. That smoke doesn't really fade in his favor, but on the re-peek, he will claim Stan. Getting past this op setup here is a whole other story. Nice little swing of things there for Wolfy and Swisher. 2 kills apiece once again. And M80, again, starting to build into this defense here. There's still more money to crack through. But at the very least, they're able to win a couple rounds in a row.
Yeah, when it comes to a player getting individually just very hot, it's all about treading water. It's all about taking your advantages elsewhere on the map, trying to avoid him, and put that player into very disadvantageous situations in that mid to late round. And that's what they're doing here. They're limiting 60 to not much room to work with. And as soon as 60 goes down, the world kind of opens up a little bit for M80. Now Forsaken decide to go outside. L block smokes are through, but there's a gap in it actually. So a lot of information given through the eyes of Wolfy. And that lower rotate is immediate from Swisher.
Yeah, we do see some quick reactions here this time around. Much more promising is the double up here on the rotations, and Swisher starting to knock some pins down here. Much more like it there. Swisher finds all four, and Malbs comes through off the contact. That is something that we so desperately needed to see out of Swisher. That is a Swisher of overpass showing up here on Nuke as well.
Yeah, and we need that Swisher if we want a competitive M80 here out the gates. Essentially a non-factor on Vertigo, not really as effective on those ramp takes outs we were hoping. And that's more like it. The rotator of Swisher chiming in, forcing out attack timeout on Forsaken side. Get Warden on the mic, as Forsaken have to go down to pistols here.
Finally cracking the code on the economy. It's going to be a bit of a relief once they figure that out. And again, if Swisher can start to level up like that, if we can see that, you know, sort of mobility off the CT side as well more often, that'll be pretty promising. I think a lot of that does come down to having two players rotated because of the gap in the smoke. Because we haven't really seen, you know, that sort of, you know, very rapid mobility. Like, even Malbs joining over is super sick to see. But they did miss that smoke, so I think that has some partial responsibility for the reaction. So we'll see those mistakes, those holes get patched up here. Again, it's getting late into the night, so sometimes you will miss a smoke here. The important thing is to not get frustrated here is Wolfy. Look at this aggression.
Caught between a rock and a hard place, and he's not getting out alive. 6E does punish, but it still should be able to be managed. The single flashbang on the back of 6E, Peaceful is really the only write home about. There's Malbs, Manx chiming in with the flashbangs, and Swisher taking care of business in that big garage. And yeah, when it comes down to playing these late night games, it is really just minimizing mistakes, making sure that you can have the cleanest game possible. It's easier said than done, sure, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be clean as long as you get 16 rounds on the board, right? So just finding your way every inch that you can take to get it over the line.
No matter what you can capitalize on, you know, late resurgences here coming through from some of these individuals. Wolfy doing a good job with his opping right now is much more like it. Again, he's going to have to match what was Wiz's impact on this map here on the CT side. And again, you don't know if you're going to get that same Wiz when, you know, you do feel like you're less necessary to be all over the map. We saw him like push a ramp like 3 rounds in a row, push outside, be in towards J-Hall. He was, you know, red all over the heat map. And if that continues here, we're going to need to see continued output out of Wolfy throughout the remainder of this half here. It's just a contact play. They're swinging out towards that outer yard, and Infinite just able to deal with Swisher. They don't throw a single smoke.
That's ballsy. That's ballsy, and they're all the way down lower. Swisher, that mid-rotate or that lower rotate is gone. But Wolfy is here, and so is Manx. So maybe it's all okay anyways. That single door will get swung open. Wolfy should be gifted a free kill here. See that they do wait until the smoke blooms. So maybe a chance, but this lower crossfire is so hard to disjoint.
Well, there's one. JBA cutting off rotations here, sticking out. Wolfy has to reveal his position, but there's players above him that he has to worry about. And he no-scopes him out of the server. Infinite dealt with. And the mission starts to be recovered here. JBA very low on HP. He can't afford to peek past the Molotov. Instead, it's just up to Stanislaw to spam through the smoke. Malbs full sticking the bomb, but he's off the mark here. Oh my god! Taps away at the head right there. And we'll dispatch of the likes of Stan right there. Or rather, Malbs on the defuse. Wolfy tagged down low as well. And Stan, he might have just done the job. He will finish it as well. That is an incredible round right there from Stanislaw. And it's going to put Forsaken back in winning ways.
I mean, what? Stan used like 5 bullets there, and he tapped in all of them. If straight up, if Stan misses that one bullet, the bomb is defused and the round is over. But I mean, Forsaken can do no wrong right now. The CS gods have been smiling upon them and them son. First, you had JBA with that insane triple dink from lobby into mini, and now you have Stanislaw with just the most generous smoke spam. Spam is honestly a very loose term. I'll say more of a tap fest there. And a 7th round is gained for Forsaken. What an unlikely way to get it done. And come what may, Forsaken are finding a way to scrap their way through this first half.
Even the way that they start off that round is very wild there and brazen. Not throwing a single smoke towards that outer yard, trusting that Wolfy's not going to be posted up there. And, you know, Swisher, he's kind of just hoping that he can spot the smokes. Maybe spot for some sort of aggression towards mini early. But in that sort of position, right, you're not going to be able to deal with a triple swing that came through here. We have some interesting rotations already. Interesting map movements for M80. You got Swisher already towards that lower bomb site. Manx kind of transitioning himself in towards a better position. But JBA is going to win out on an early duel. Punishing the re-aggression here. They're going to close in upon this B bomb site here. Chasing from Swisher. Will capitalize on the kill. What is going on here? They've left the B bomb site. And instead might be hitting that A side as they found a kill. But no, back over towards the ramp side of things here. Swisher again. Multiple kills here. Swisher doing it all once more. And he wants more. As he tosses in the HE, but still left into another 2v2. Can't deny the bomb plant here. That number is going to be punched in. And JBA taking a devastating off angle here. Rec having to reveal his position. Flash isn't going to do anything. And he's going to inch his way forward here, but gets caught again by JBA's positioning all over. And 2 rounds in a row is going to let Forsaken win this half.
Oh, you would have thought that Forsaken might have overthought that round there. Getting J-Hall control a route into that A bomb site. And yet still Forsaken decide to go into the waiting arms of M80. Still come out on top after Swisher's double. Credit to JBA, man. Stability in that after plant. That angle is just so difficult to clear. It doesn't matter your HP. Swisher just so antsy to get stuck into that fight, catch off that default plant, and it doesn't work out this time around. One more buy left in the tank for M80, but Forsaken have gotten away with murder here. They've won the half on that T side, and there's Infinite with a huge opener.
Oh, there's just no safety on the site here. Wolfy's going to burn to the flames, or he's going to peek again to JBA. They have just closed out this bomb site here. A devastating A execute to break the backs of M80. Extending not only a winning half, but getting extras. And the possibility for much, much more, as we're going to be seeing force buys for the remainder of this half. Manx has gone all in frustration as they cannot get a grasp on Forsaken right now.
I mean, that's just a clinical topside hit there. Just the protocols are down to a T. The decisiveness after Infinite gets that opening kill onto the top HUD player. They know how big of an opening that they have, and they seize it with both hands. Great call from Stanislaw and a lobby crunch, a desperate lobby attempt to get some rifles back, and it works partially. Manx gets activated, gets to upgrade to a rifle. But look at Infinite, man. All the way outside, making his way into J-Hall. And spots out a couple more players. He's definitely compromised at this point. Got a couple players to back up his position as well. There's Manx with that picked up rifle. Can't do much beyond that first kill, though. And it should be recovered by Rec, but... Or I say Rec, and it should be Malbs there. And another pause here for Forsaken. A lot of time to play with, a lot of space to work with as well.
Wow, what great vision right there from Malbs. We'll take care of Wiz. They don't really know where Stanislaw is, though. Stan's going to use that time to bypass that heaven position and kind of head over in towards that lower bomb site right now. 60 blowing open the doors. Yeah, Stan's just kind of on a solo mission right now with the bomb as well. And 60's just looking to distract. He's certainly doing a good job of keeping the attention here. Tosses in a molly towards Mini or Vents. He's going to keep people's attention here. But Stan isn't super quick on this B-side play, so it's Wolfy tucked in. Hasn't been spotted inside the smoke here with the bomb planter. They're gonna swing the double doors open, but yeah, that's very difficult to move past. So the high risk purchase, it ends up being rewarded.
Yeah, and I think Manx and Co are well aware of how necessary these last 2 rounds are, and it works out in dividends. Upgrades aplenty for everybody. That is for the delay and the diffuse there. But a 5th on the board for M80. I do like the idea there from Forsaken. 60 trying to draw over rotations, but as you said, there is just no decisiveness in that actual B-side hit from Stanislaw, trying to get the bomb down as soon as possible or take a gunfight. And once that smoke goes down, the jig is up, the rotations are swift, and M80 come out on top. So one last round here in this first half, as Forsaken would love to hit double digits on this offense. But now with M80, with all their bells and whistles, perhaps they can save face at this tail end of this best of 3.
A lot on the line here in this third map. I mean, again, kind of the matchup that I was expecting to see in this upper bracket would have been Complexity versus M80. One of those teams was able to make it here. And now this could actually leave only one of those teams making it into the final here for IEM Sydney. M80 is definitely not a force to be reckoned with here. So if Forsaken can continue to find that success, that's going to be a clash of titans in that lower bracket. Look at this aggression though from Wolfy. It's so much resources out of the pockets. JBA goes 1 for 1. They're down towards the lower bomb site. This round absolutely all over the place here. And Manx is going to get dinked off the angle, chased down by 60. Going to continue his aggression here. And he's going to win out on that duel. He's got full ramp control established here. He's going to find one on the cutoff. And Swisher making noise here all around double doors. He has to crack through 3 individuals. He'll find the first piece of the puzzle. No trade, but he's down to just so little HP. Only 12 left to his name. And it's Stanislaw to close things out. Double-digit rounds on the T set for Forsaken as they set themselves up for success for the second half after this break. Here we are, what could very well be our last half of play of the night here. It's been a long day, but Forsaken look to close it here with a great first half. Now they just have to close things out on their CT side, and they're already stepping up to the plate. Wiz and JBA are knocking down everything, and it's a flawless start to the pistol round here for Forsaken as they continue their train in this series.
Oh, that's backbreaking. That's just gut-wrenching for M80. Twisting the knife after it's already been dug into you. And Wiz, beautiful double from heaven. JBA, stoic as ever in the back of Silo. And it doesn't matter about those positional changes so far, Cole. They look just so clean in that pistol.
Just at home right there as they try and run it right on back here. Again, classic Manx calling. Trying to roll it back here. Stan, though, we'll find a quick trade, but they're taking space. Wreck with a Glock is taking ground as well, and they are losing numbers. Diving through the smoke here. It's going to be Stan in between smoke. So chaotic right now, but Swisher continuing to find success, and somehow Stan is the last man standing. So as you said, it could have been back-breaking, but right now, Stan's in another 1v2 clutch. I mean, if you remember, big pistol success here to kick off this map for Standislao. That led him to some massive ground. Can he do it again? Can he replicate Wolf?
Oh.
He thinks yes. As he will sideline Wolfy early, taking a beautiful reposition to deal with Swisher, but no, Swisher won't let that slide, and will send him packing down the vents.
Just a balls to the wall call there from M80. Chaos pandemonium on that upper site. You have Wreck flying around with the Glock. And when the dust settles, that 2v1 really possible there for Stanislaw. Spots out Swisher on that jump up as well, but Swisher too fast on the trigger. And M80 right the ship. Another force buy-in for Forsaken, but perhaps their legs here, well, maybe, just maybe, they can start this comeback.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big round right there. Like you said, that's some big-time calls coming through from Manx. High risk to just run back that A execute, to go for a force buy. The end result of that not working out could have been so devastating. To have faith in the individuals here. On the side of M80, they can still pull themselves out of holes as well. They have to do it on the T side of Nuke. Zrek taking some space here. Very valuable real estate. This is the sort of position that you can win in quite easily. Is Rek able to hold his ground? There's a player right underneath them here. It could be a bit awkward. I think this is going to be an attempt at an A-side split with Rek's current positioning. And they're in a prime position to do so, but Stan is there. He is waiting.
I mean, you're just hoping for Rek to get offered up some sort of kill to make this A-side split a possibility. But look at Stan.
Boy.
He's very aware of it, but the timing is just so against him. There's JBA to try to fight things back into the hut, but the lobby player that tries to dive up the vents goes down, and it's only JBA, and here's 60 to try to clear things out, but I think it's a bit too late here, and I think M80 have navigated the difficulties and gotten themselves a 7th.
Yeah, the hard work is done right there. And that's just some really good timing. You've got that late aggression from Rek, but he waits until his teammates are taking contact. First things first, and you can see immediately as Stan's attention's drawn away. And that's when they're able to strike in unison, so. Some strong stuff being shown out here by the side of M80. Showing their own resiliency. Two gun saves. This is going to be, a chance for M80 to really pull things back. Again, losing the pistol too, man. That's very impressive. The fact that they were able to kick it back into gear here.
Yeah, very admirable, and with such a incredible call on that second round. I mean, you're basically putting your life on the line there, your tournament life on the line there, just outright. Of course, in the upper bracket, of course. But regardless, I really do like that bold call from Manx to kickstart this T campaign. Now at least they can breathe a sigh of relief with this 8th round. You'd hope, with it only being JBA's Galil involved thus far.
He gets a flash set up there. It's a nice re-aggression there from Malbs. Quick little 1-for-1 trade. And it is going to be a lot easier now that the heaviest bit of firepower is sidelined early in the round. You have to sacrifice a player for that, but no big deal. Again, M80 willing to use the entirety of this outer yard to their advantage here. At least up against the pistols, which I really like to see. I think that trend is something we kind of struggled to see from Complexity. We saw them throw those outer yard smokes, but we never really saw them press the issue towards, you know, positions like Heaven or J-Hall. It was more so just always crossing down towards Secret, hesitating. It made that T side very stagnant, very readable. But when you start to threaten other sides of the map here, it's more promising, although up the fence is a bit awkward. Okay, Swisher just punt things out. He's not going to mess with that.
And you had an extreme lack of big garage control, right? How many times did you have Complexity with the advantageous lurk outside? It was next to none. I mean, you had a couple rounds there from Elige, but it wasn't all too often. I'd like to see M80 take care of Heaven, take care of outside a lot more, and clearly, just judging from these initial rounds, it is very clear to me that they're willing to take that outside control, and that amount of complexity will make things hard for Forsaken to read. They really have to keep their wits about them, and Wiz is going to have a harder time. I mean, it is just much more difficult as a CTA to BP to fight that many more angles.
A nice little bit of exit damage there. It might give him enough to go for a glass cannon op if he wants to start off his CT side opping endeavor with that, but I don't really think that's going to be in his wheelhouse. You know, would rather get into the utility, hold off a little bit longer for the AWP. It's just unfortunate that, you know, for the first gun round, we will not be seeing that impact out of him just yet. You won't be able to bring that into the server. And that is going to be a big relief for M80, especially when we talk about the distance being closed here. An op in the counterpart here of Wolfy, but just playing in mini perfectly right there. Not going to give over that opening duel.
Oh, gun barrel spotted there from Swisher, and Wiz capitalizes. So still impact on the rifle from the opper. Have to be all right anyways. Rek getting blindsided there. I'm actually confused where he got that dink from. It could have been from Trophy, to be completely honest with you. But no matter. It's into that ramp position anyways, and 60 is up to bat. And there's Wiz yet again. Rotation is swift, and the 1-for-1 is there. But Wolfy is there to finally pull things back. Minute 8 on the clock, and J-Hall and Ramp is firmly in their favor. Look at the re-aggression for Forsaken, though. Trying to stay active immediately outside, but it's a little too late at this point. B control has been taken. Bomb plant should be coming through, and we're into the potential 3v3 retake. And I think this will be difficult to really go for if you're Forsaken. There are no kits up, and you've only got that molly to really clear out any angles here.
Yeah, and your silver lining is that Wolfy is low on HP, but he has an op, so he can still have that impact even despite that.
Oh,
but that's making him dance a little bit. There's that impact out of Wolfy and his low HP, though. He just finds a kill that's immediately going to set this one sour. Staying going to grab a rifle and head his way out of here as M80 close the distance even further. And right there, I mean, you even get that impact that Wish would deliver with the op. Finds a kill towards that outer yard. He finds a kill towards J-Hall. That's even the rotations that you would go for with an op. But it's still great fights from M80 to get back into that round. You know, nullifying 60 in his ramp position there, he was never able to have any impact other than distracting for Wiz to find those kills. And it's a great recovery mission there from Wolfy and the rest of M80.
Yeah, the trade potential is very swift. It's difficult to necessarily trade on that op. You miss one shot, you're essentially giving over a man advantage potentially, but Wolfy still finds a way, even if he does take a dink to the face. And with how labored that round was, they are rewarded with a much easier time in this following. 2 saved rifles for Infinite and Stanislaw Infinite not able to connect, and Swisher basically be able to get under scot-free, post up Wolfy on the outer yard as well. Swisher 60 trying to get cheeky with the single door closed, single door open, but it doesn't work out this time around. Swisher gets some important information, causes a couple rotations as well. So really good work from Swisher out the gates, but
Okay.
60, that is insane. How does he find that kill?
It's very tough to account for that right there. Swisher down early, but again, the Heaven Wrap that continues to come through, continues to surprise the side of Forsaken on this CT side. They don't have a great reaction, a great read for that, other than this lobby control, which is the protocol you should expect here from Forsaken, that they should expect players in lobby as they take this A site control. Trying to cover a couple different bases as Malbs, which is always a bit awkward. But the numbers are punched in. But no one's watching Heaven. A big surprise. Wolfy has to land a nasty flick there up towards the sky there, but he's finding all the kills. Wolfy, can he offer up one more here? JBA reveals his position, sidelined by Manx. And again, it's another heroic round by Wolfy.
Oh man, I mean those flicks were just disgusting from the enemy POV, and Wolfy just tears things apart there in that after plant. A sticky 3v3 scenario there for M80, but they find a way to navigate through it. I mean, I think you really have to give a lot of credit to Rek here. He's really making Forsaken uncomfortable with these constant reaggressions into ladder base, into Heaven as well. Sure, he's only able to get one kill, but it's enough to draw enough attention so that these site hits are very comfortable for M80, that they can navigate through with those post plants. I think Rek is worth his weight in gold here so far, and it's doing wonders for this T side.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, this is something Forsaken, or for the first time, it feels like today, having to figure out here is the positioning towards Heaven that they continue to claim. Again, this wasn't a big problem here when it comes to complexity in their matchup, but maybe that thing that we mentioned here heading into this series was, if you're M80, you had that lovely little bit of time there to watch back some of the VODs in between, prepare yourself for this matchup. And in doing so, it feels like they certainly have targeted a bit of a weakness in rotation, a weakness in Forsaken CT side.
Back to ramp again. Forsaken tested, Stanislaw in tow. But Wiz can't get involved with this AWP. And Stanislaw is stuck alone. He gets the first, but he goes down alongside his partner in Sixy. The B bomb site has been lost. A bomb plan has been found. And Cole, we're even Stevens yet again, man.
This recovery in the second half has looked a little too easy as well. Multiple gun round victories.
They've just keeled over ramp like twice now. There's like 2 or 3 times where they've tried to keep 2 players there, 3 players there, and it's just not working.
Yeah, and I guess their options are they can try and hold their ground, but the output that's come through out of the camp of Forsaken hasn't been all there. We've seen Sixy try to hold his ground. Even Wiz trying to play off the contact, right? The back and forth between them two. And that hasn't necessarily gone in their favor. So I think they're just struggling with the way that they want to defend things here. And again, man, you kind of expect 60 to come through and come back into this one. But M80, they just continue to press the pressure points that Forsaken have right now.
Things get ugly here for Forsaken. They do get another buyout on the board. Wiz still has another opportunity to get that op activated, but we haven't been able to see it thus far. Outside now to try to take first contact, and he's got a little bit of room to work with, but Wolfy fast on the trigger. More impact from the Swede. And Swisher tries to combat with more outside pressure, but there's Infinite to kind of quell things and slow things down for M80.
Scary angle here. The crawl out of Squeaky is coming through. And Stanislaw is just playing a bit awkwardly around this box. A trade necessary, but no trade comes. Stanislaw could break the deadlock for Forsaken as he locked down a nasty triple kill. No reaction coming through. No trade from M80. And it's finally going to be a second round for this CT side. As a reality check has set in once the score gets tied. They do not want to give that lead over.
Yeah, a bit lackadaisical, surprisingly, there from M80, trying to contact out of Squeak door and just sort of expecting for the trade to inevitably come, but it never did. Stanislaw holds strong to get 3 kills there, and nobody can touch him. Basically scot-free, and sure, Rek gets your kill in front of Hut, but it doesn't matter if you're last alive. And now it's just this full upper hit. They want to try to burst their way into that site, but Infinite shut things down first off. And that Molly in the front of Hut slows things down even more. I guess the consolation here is that Rek's gotten himself a 4v4, but look at Stanislaw again leading by example. Another huge double.
Yeah, that's massive. That's enough work right there to put it at least continuing the man advantage. The bomb site, though, on the other hand, is kind of given over. Not fully, but oof. He's able to collect onto Rek. He's going to put this all on the shoulders of Wolfy in a 1v3 and getting crouched up on by 60. You will catch him by surprise here. Back-to-back rounds where Stanislaw has had to step up to the plate here and show some of the younger guns on the team here how to get the job done.
Yeah, perhaps maybe falling into this pit of despair we're forsaken, that perhaps this game is slipping away from us, perhaps it's over, but that's where you need your veterans to step up to give that motivation that it's not over yet. We're still on that defensive half, and we still have a shot at getting that grand final spot. Back-to-back multi-frags from Stan the Man. Wonderful stuff for him. And they take another tack pause to quell the nerves just a little bit more. Players like JBA were new to this concept of just being mere rounds away from some of the biggest tournaments of the year. When just a couple seasons ago, this guy was fighting through relegation to get into ECL, you know? So you'd love to make sure that this guy is feeling comfortable at this stage of the game.
I mean, that's the sort of winner's mentality that we talked about. Some of the more veteran, not only coaches, but also IGLs can bring to the table. And that's certainly the winner's mentality that Stan is starting to show here late into the game. And if they can continue to crack the code here, that could be everything. Because like you said, this is unfamiliar territory for some of the younger players on this team. Oh, mere steps away from a grand final to qualify for IEM Sydney. JB8 never able to make it that deep into a tournament just yet, but underneath this new banner, he's putting himself steps away from doing so. What an accomplishment that would be here. Infinite looking to take some fights towards the outer yard here, but Manx is going to claim it on the top of the smoke there, catches him early.
L-block smokes work out wonders, and here's that complexity we're looking for in that T default. Swisher makes his way outside, but here's the immediate adaptation from Wiz, searching for that big garage presence, but the back and forth from Wiz and Swisher works out in Swisher's favor, and there's Rek to chime in. Stanislaw is finally down, only able to get one frag. And it's just 60 left up in this. He's had so much impact throughout this game and this series, but he's quieted down since switching over halves. And M80 find themselves a 12th.
A little bit of back and forth here, especially off the back of the timeout, is a huge relief for M80. Getting those pauses on in, getting that influence coming through, and talking about just more winner's mentality here. Manx being able to facilitate some opening picks alongside his teammates right there is going to help out big time, as he was able to find that last opener, taking down Infinite pretty early on. Looking to throw some aggression in their face. Mal's biting the bullet right there on the spam. Not exactly ideal, but you can shake that one off.
Calling default here from M80. Very willing to exhaust that CT utility now. Understanding that the funds cannot be the greatest on that Forsaken side. 5-7 for Stanislaw nonetheless. Outside smokes come in. And potential re-aggression elsewhere on the map. Wiz caught between a rock and a hard place. Caught between two mines. And gives up a frag to Manx. Stanislaw tries to pick it up straight away. And he won't go wrong this time around, pulls things back, but look at Swisher again. Outside control, big garage control, firmly in his grasp. And with 45 seconds to go, let this guy work his magic, M80
Getting
says.
really awkward on this boost towards heaven right now. At the very least, Stan is going to be able to cover this ground. They've got a lot of reinforcements on this A side, and only 30 seconds for M80 to end this round. So where do they go? Where do they head on in towards? 60 going to be making that lower rotation. He's willing to concede that ramp control, but yeah, that's Stan who was boosted up with the AWP here. Another multi-kill comes from him, but nothing more. They still have a nasty crossfire, though, devastating the aggression early. Rec not going to expect a player over in the opposite vent. Will take care of business. JBA just needs to find this last kill. And now the young gun able to step up alongside his IGL to get the job done here and move Forsaken forward.
I mean, credit to Stanislav for immediately picking up that AWP, taking that squeak door angle, getting that equalizing situation, and then the awareness to watch for that heaven presence. So keen on shutting down Swisher. I mean, if Swisher stays alive there, the round is over. Opposite vent player dead. Tetris player dead as well. And it's all over Red Rover. M80 tie things up. But JBA, Stanislav, they both put in a hell of a job for Forsaken. Put themselves on a 14. Put M80 into such a precarious economical situation. And well and truly poised themselves to close this series out.
No kidding. That's where they set themselves up here. I mean, this could be the death blow right here. It is a nasty buy. Full of Galils, Mac-10s, and pistols alongside it. And that's what M80 have to keep Forsaken off of series point. But Swisher is not ready to give up just yet. Infinite being hurt in the vents, has to keep his aim on a swivel right there, but not able to find a single thing. And my god.
Oh, man.
They're not going to let up just yet. They're not going to let Forsaken get that dreamy 15th round.
Just a little bit of head shown there from 60 on that jump spot. And Swisher just blows his head off. Double dink on the Galil, no less. It's not even that insta headshot that you're expecting on that AK. It's a much harder situation there, but I mean, Swisher makes it look so easy. They get themselves their 13th. Sadly, Malbs can't take away any weaponry for that Forsaken squad, so they will have a buy up in the next. But man, oh man, the individuals cracking heads there from M80.
Sort of late game resurgence here. Their backs are against the wall. They know how to swing right on back. We've got ourselves what very well could be the distance here once again, man. Look at that top right of your screen. You can see how close this series has been. All the rounds given to us. And the third map will be no different. It's so hard to separate these two rosters here. To see who's going to be inching their way toward the grand final. It's a lot of presence towards ramp early. No aggression coming through. Wiz, one of his trademark moves, was playing forward with that op. He's inside of the hut and fighting multiple members, but it's just a USP for Infinite to work with. Luckily, JBA starting to bail him out, but he even gets overwhelmed. Swisher down low. They're going to retreat towards ramp.
And that's straight into the waiting arms of 60. He's got a P250 to play with. Just got to stall long enough to make it an even keel fight here. But he's not even going to bother taking that first duel. He's just going to try to make his position known. He's spotted, and he's got to stall for as long as possible. 60 needs to get at least one there. But now, it's up to the captain. Can he get another impactful round here for Forsaken? Put them on a series point. Or will it be M80 equalizing things up, snapping the money? So much damage done for Stan. He takes down the low HP player. But how does he clear Swisher in this situation?
Won't be able to.
Oh, he just doesn't.
Swisher gonna close things off with a 4K. So much impacted of a player so low on HP. Could have fallen so many times there. But wins out on all of his crucial duels. And we've got a 30-round ball game here. all of the rounds required. Every last ounce of effort here from Forsaken to try and close this one out. But M80, they have other ideas. Third of fourth tac pause called out by M80. Trying to figure out how they keep the success rolling. Oh, it's all on the line here, man.
It really does come down to this here round. Forsaken are out of funds, and M80 will be short on them as well with single stage loss. So it all comes down to this. One last opportunity for either M80 or Forsaken to punch their ticket into that grand final spot. A potential bout with complexity that could also be looming. And it's just a one round difference to really separate the two. Or perhaps maybe even overtime on the cards.
Terrifying prospect here. Look at this aggression from Swisher. What? He manages to best Stanislaw. And the 29th here, a player that has been elevating his game in the late stages, being a big win condition for Forsaken, is now down and out early. I mean, 2 Titans for their teams out of this third map here in the 29th round, so it's up to the rest here to claim the victory. No. But it's a terrible timing onto the boost, and Wiz is only good for 1. Malps finds a multi-kill entry. Rek has dispatched of Infinite here on the lurk, and JBA is sheltering in place here.
No way. I mean, they're going down to the lower bomb site. They are low.
Oh my god.
We have seen multi-kill potential here from the young gun of JBA. He hears the bomb being planted in Astralis, but what can he do? Oh. Nothing! Rek flicks over 90-degree turn. And what a way to get that 15th round on the board. Some insane heroics there from M80. Swisher running through Secret to get the kill on a Stanislaw. And man, oh man, the heartbreak on that boost. The boost fails, but it just fails in the most spectacularly awful fashion. A footstep given over, and Malbs gifted 2 frags. I mean, what a heartbreaking way to give over 15, Cole.
And again, it's Forsaken with their backs against the wall here, and usually that's where they stand tall, but they've got to do it with pots and pans. Little firepower. With what they have, at least Wiz can maybe shine, but his barrel seems to have been spotted. They are so aware of the potential that he is here, and there is no escape for him. There is no relief. He is out of the round early. Swisher again with another entry, but this time it could end things.
And they've gone lower control as well. Swisher doesn't have to deal with Stanislaw this time around. And now, panic stations for Forsaken. Gamble rotations aplenty. Stanislaw indecisive about whether or not he wants to go up that ladder. And Malbs will punish the lobby aggression. 5v3, 5v2 now as Stanislaw goes down in ladder base. It's JBA and Sixy with an MP9 and a 5.7 to defend the honor of Forsaken. They've been trying for so long today to try to get it over the line. 6 maps of play, but it's not gonna be the case. M80 fight tooth and nail and come out on top. They punched their ticket in that grand final. We're getting a rematch of Complexity and Forsaken in that lower bracket.
I mean, and that's very exciting here, man. The fact that we get to see, you know, that rematch come through, a chance for Complexity to get revenge, but Forsaken coming into